everyone, and welcome to Soul Reflection, Unveiling the Spirit Beyond the Youth. My name is Tracy, and I will be your host for today's show. But before I reveal the topic for today's discussion, I would like to say a big thank you to Prophet Isaac for giving the youth the opportunity to discuss the importance of different topics. I would also like to say thank you to the members of Kingdom Keys Chapel for their love and support. I would also like to say thank you to our producer, Brother K, who remains working hard whilst being overseas. Lastly, I would like to highlight our sponsors, SpeedyLink door-to-door shipping from Ghana to UK, and Tuma Papa Fie and Connie Special Restaurant. Before we discuss our topic, I'd like to take a short commercial break. See you after the break.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Looking for some fun and faith-filled entertainment for your little ones? Introducing the Little Light Show, an ultimate destination for the young hearts seeking inspiration.
Hey friends, have you ever wondered why I pray? Or how about why being kind is super important? We will laugh, we will learn, and we also have a blast together. Join us as we dive into these awesome topics and more.
Get ready for interactive games, special guests, and plenty of surprises along the way.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Don't let Satan blow it up. I'm gonna let it shine.
London ha me bibie koyi nanso maduane nsem kwade enkoyi sebeya menya Ghana duane papa bie di no eno ne me problem
minia so de oya ba fresh timachi na me kochero Kone special authentic Ghanaian restaurant na benya Ghana duane papa ni nyina bie di na ba san kwan ya bra won fifie
ende boga ye ntem fa me wo so sesia na de enya fufuo ni aponche kakra medi
wonni how cry Kone special restaurant e wa Ghana duane bi te se fufuo ni adren kwan fufuo ni nkrakra fufuo ni aben kwan na sen kate kwan pesi na bayam pesi ni kontomre nkrado kro papa bi wache jollof rice ne fried rice bankuni nkruma bayaya chine chofi bayaya chine tilapia a confirm kebab ne ne keka hunua mesigana aduane bi a wonim bia ubenya bi e wo Kone special authentic Ghanaian restaurant fieda memne da na kwasi da bia Kone special authentic Ghanaian restaurant ebe ma tuoza afi papa bi any mutuo special niema Kone special authentic Ghanaian restaurant e dan so kra ne se wo pesti na san kwan bi akwese o fridge ba na wodi ni kakra Kone bra no be sort out cry asemodene say fieda no memene da bia ye pon 2:30 am na memene da live band change ejiram ye try na se agiani ankasa hwehwe Kone special authentic Ghanaian restaurant e wo 85 to 87 Wood Range Road Forest Gate London E70EP Fred Bekwe e wo telephone number so +44 75 78 611 211 ana +44 7309 427 2127
Kone special authentic Ghanaian restaurant anokwa mama masankwan
Hello, and welcome back to Soul Reflection. I would like to introduce my panelists, Elder Richmond, KEZIAH, Rachel, and Charity. Today's topic is about this forgiveness. So to start with the discussion, what do you think forgiveness is, and what is the difference between forgiveness and simply forgetting?
I would say forgiveness, like you said, there's a difference between forgetting and or excusing behavior and between that and forgiveness. It's about you letting go of the pain that someone has caused you, or to no longer feel resentment towards someone because of what they've done to you.
Or does anyone else want to touch on what is forgiveness and the difference between simply forgetting and forgiveness?
Um, is it okay for me to speak?
Oh yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that forgiveness is truly forgiving someone, understanding what they did and just forgiving them for what they did and having no pain or no hurt towards whatever they did to wrong you or hurt you. It's different from just excusing bad behavior um, and just like brushing it off. It's different from that because you hold no grudge against them. You have no secret grudge or you have no feeling of pain.
All right. When you talk about the forgiveness, is an intentional decision that you take to let it go of resentment or anger. Yeah, because when you talk about, oh, excuse me, that kind of, it's not forgiveness. If someone offends you and maybe intentionally, it's okay, I'll not mind. But inwardly, you are holding grudges within you. That's not forgiveness. But forgiveness is a decision that you take that you let it go. No matter what has happened, you let it go and then you free your mind. Thank you.
So, Charity, do you want to discuss about what forgiveness is? So I agree with what everyone said. I think forgiveness is the intentional and voluntary process by which one may feel wronged, and is a process of changing feelings regarding a given offender to their actions and overcoming the impact. So, has there ever been a time where you felt like it was hard for you to forgive?
Uh, okay, let me start. Yeah, my personal experience, but I've experienced some of this many times. I can't remember. I think I even shared this story before. I think I interviewed one guy, and that time um I wasn't the main administrator, whatever. Yeah, I was working in different company, and I them through the board demonstration, I was in charge of it. So I interviewed the person and guided him, and I recommended him to the company. So later he was employed, so he was under me. But later on, it turns around. There were so many issues, and it was even at a point where we have to even exchange position. I have to even take my place. But you see, we are human beings. Yeah, we are human beings. Sometimes you not feel it so likely, you not take it so likely, but what has happened has already happened. So what do you do? So the best thing that I could do is to forgive him and then move on to do whatever I want to do. There's so many things that has happened. But you see, the reason why I forgave the person and I'd not even talk about it again is that wasn't my final destination, right? It wasn't my final destination because I thought there's um, a lot ahead of me, so I have to focus what's ahead of me and then leave what has already happened. So that's what happened to me. So is this someone may cause you, do you wrong, do a lot of things against you, and you are if you are not careful, you might think you should take revenge, right? But taking revenge will rather spoil you. And if you try not to even forgive the person, there's so many consequences that you also face. So that's some of the experience that I went through. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Does anyone else have any experience of them not being able to forgive? Oh, no. Okay. Um, what do you think are the What do you think the benefits of forgiveness are, psychologically and emotionally?
I think for the person that is forgiving another person, it shows maturity and progression, and it gives you a peace of mind as it allows you to move on by taking a heavy weight off your shoulder. Maybe you're not forgiving that person, you're probably holding that a grudge inside or feeling resentful towards that person. And by letting that go, like it kind of frees you and, like I said, allows you to move on. For the person that is being forgiven, it allows them to also forgive themselves and relieve them from any guilt that they might feel from what they done to you.
Or does
And
anyone else want to?
yeah, and other benefit that you can get when you forgive, talk about the psychologically, you become you have free of mind, right? There's no heavy burden on you. And you see, even let's also talk about the emotion. When we talk about the emotion, you see, when you hold grudges in you, within you, unforgiveness, it builds bitterness. And when bitterness starts, it gives you a lot of health challenges. Emotionally, you are not happy. You are not of good sound mind. It troubles you. You cannot even sleep. The moment you see the person, then your heart even starts beating. Meanwhile, the person that has offended you might not even know, that he has offended you. And some of them too, if they are intentional, they know they've offended you, but they will not come and apologize. So if you are waiting for the person that has offended because you are a victim, you are waiting for the person to come and apologize to you, later you spoil yourself. Why will you spoil yourself? Because it will gather. I mean, there's a lot of diseases that you can even bring out. Some of them, those have been admitted in the hospitals and other things, they having heart attack and stroke and other things because of this unforgiveness. So psychologically, if you want to have a sound mind, the best thing you have to do is to forgive. That's why I said forgiveness is a decision. So when you decide that this person I'll forgive, just forgive, though you not forget it. That's what you should know. You not forget it, but don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Just let it go and free your mind. And psychologically, it will prepare your mind very well. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. You can do it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, am I permitted to speak?
Yeah.
So growing up, I really struggled with forgiveness because growing up, my life depended on a lot of people, and so I had a lot of ties to people, and so when those people hurt me, it's a bit hard to.
Um, I think from what was previously said, what I'll add on is that the
Go
benefits of
past it. This does help a lot with a lot of things. I had to grow up with not hold on certain grudges, and it's better. Sorry. Hello.
Hello. Hello. I think I'll add on to the benefits of forgiveness. So I think someone can have healthier relationships, less anxiety, stress, and hostility, and improved mental health and improved self-esteem, as that was previously mentioned. So next we will talk about forgiveness and reconciliation. So what do you think is the difference between forgiveness and reconciliation?
I feel as if like with reconciliation, like that's mainly about you building back the bond between you and the person, whether like they were a close friend to you or someone that you that really cherished. But with forgiveness, like you can still forgive someone and not need to like be friends with them again. Because some people like they're not meant to be in your life. And someone constantly like whatever they've done to for you to be upset at them, if it's something that they were constantly doing and you've had to constantly forgive them for that, I feel as if you don't really need to reconcile with them. But obviously do that at your own discretion. If you pray on it and you pray about the person, that you pray to God and you see that God doesn't want that person in your life or that person isn't in alignment with where you're going, then I feel like you can forgive them. It's not wrong to like just be like, okay, we're not friends anymore. I don't need to forgive you. You can forgive them and like, go your own ways. But
Forgiveness and reconciliation. The reconciliation. Forgiveness. I say you've already forgiven the person, but to reconcile the person, one, um, yeah, it's good to reconcile the person, but we should be very careful. For example, you have a best friend, your childhood friend, and you share things together. Let's say you share secrets together. She know the person knows your secrets, and you know her secrets. I mean, you go up and down, you do whatever, like everything. It seems like you guys are even twins. You do everything together, and look, the person has exposed you, has brought up your secrets, your hidden things. Like you don't even want anybody to even hear about it. How do you feel it? We are talking about forgiveness. You forgiving the person, but look, after reconciliation, you make sure um let me put it in this way. You see, love, we know that love is a must, as the Bible tells us that we should love our neighbors, we should love. So love is a command, so we need to love. But when it comes to friendship, it is a choice. You should be very careful. The person who has exposed you, brought up your secrets on social media, people have known your secrets. I believe you should be very careful. You shouldn't. You talk to them, all right, but don't trust them again. That's what most leaders, we are Christians. I mean, you forgive them, you forget. As I said, we forgive, but we don't forget. We learn from what has already happened. So since you've forgiven the person, learn from it. What did you do? What goes wrong? That the person shared your secrets outside. You learn from it, but don't trust the person. So the Bible said, if it is possible, we should live in peace with everybody. That's why, because of the peace, that's why we should reconcile with everyone, even those who offend us. We should reconcile. But we shouldn't trust them again. We shouldn't trust them again. We should be very careful about it. So forgiveness, it is good. As I say, it is good for your health. It's good for your mind. It's good for your soul, and it isn't. As a Christian, whatever, it is very good. To reconcile is very good, but it's not because we should reconcile the person. After that, we go back and then we eat together, we dine together, we move together. You should separate yourself and learn from your mistakes so that you can even go far. Because nowadays we don't trust people much. If it's single secret, the person has shared it. You are, for example, if you are 25 years, the person has shared your secret. You've worked maybe 10 years, the person has shared your secret. And if you should even stay, you should even live for maybe 70 years. You have about 35 years or so. And the same person will also share your secret. The same person will reveal the others. So it's better that you leave the person and then you move on in life. Yeah, reconcile the person, but you should be very careful about it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. So, linking to what Elder Richmond said, do you think that it's compulsory to maintain a close relationship, or still reconcile with an individual because you have forgiven them?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, can you hear me now? Sorry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
talk.
Oh, okay, I had an issue with my mic. So, what Elder Richmond said, I don't really agree with you forgiving and reconciling with the person. Sometimes I feel like you can forgive them, like let go, and literally let them go. Cause there is this popular fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me the third time, shame on the both of us. So if someone keeps hurting you and you keep forgiving them and letting them back in, I feel like they will constantly keep doing it because they know you end up forgiving them and letting them back in. So sometimes for your peace of mind and for your own sanity, you need to forgive them and distance yourself. Not that you don't have to, you can talk to them and why not, but I feel like it's better to let them go and just move on from your life with your life. If that makes sense.
Yeah. That's why I said for the love, because of the love, that's why you forgiving a person because of the love. But when it comes to relationship, when it comes to the friendship, it is a choice. It's your own decision. That's why I said I would not even encourage you to trust the person again. I would not encourage you to trust the person again. Fine. Maybe you did something, two of you did something, and the person has exposed you. You forgiving the person. Why do you want to do the same thing with the person again? That's why I'm saying that. So I'm not saying that when you forgive the person, it should be compulsory that you should work with the person, you should be like your friend. No, most of the people around now, for me personally, for now, I don't really trust people. That's it. And so for me, if someone tells me that I don't, the person doesn't trust me, I'm okay because we are human beings. I can expose you at any time. You can expose me at any time, but I will not base on what you are thinking about me and have grudges with you. No, no. But because the Bible entrusts us to love, or it is a command for us to love, I have to love you no matter what you've done. I have to love you. But I have to take my decision that from now onwards, I'm not going to work with you. I'm not going to tell you my secrets. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything to add on to the question? Okay. So, what do you think are the challenges that an individual may face?
Can any
Hello,
Hello.
hello?
hello.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of issue. Hello.
Looking for some fun and faith-filled entertainment for your little ones? Introducing the Little Light Show, an ultimate destination for the young hearts seeking inspiration.
Hey friends, have you ever wondered why I pray? Or how about why being kind is super important? We will laugh, we will learn, and we also have a blast together. Join us as we dive into these awesome topics and more.
Get ready for interactive games, special guests, and plenty of surprises along the way.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Don't let Satan blow it up. I'm gonna let it shine.
Me ba London ha me bibie koyi nanso madiane nsam kwade enkoyi sabeya menya Ghana duane papa bi edi no eno ne me problem
minia so de oyaba fresh dimachi na me kochiro kone special authentic Ghanaian restaurant na benya Ghana duane papa ni nyina bi edi na obesan kwan ya bra won fifie
and the boga yentem fa me wo so sisi a na de enya fufuo ni aponche kakra medi
wonni how cry kone special restaurant e wa Ghana duane bi te se fufuo ni adren kwan fufuo ni nkrakra fufuo ni aben kwan na sen kate kwan pimam pesi na bayam pesi ni kontomre nkrado kro papa bi wache jollof rice ne fried rice bankuni nkruma bayaya chine chofi bayaya chine tilapia a confirm kebab ne yakeka ho nua mesigana aduane bi a wonim bia ubenya bi e wa kone special authentic Ghanaian restaurant fieda memneda na kwasi da bia kone special authentic Ghanaian restaurant ebe ma tuoza afi papa bi ani mutuo special niema kone special authentic Ghanaian restaurant e dan so kra ne se wo pesti na san kwam ya kwese o fridge ba na wadi ni kakra kone bra no be sort out cry asemodene se fieda na memeda bia ye pon 2:30 am na memeda live band change ejiram ye try na se agiani ankasa hwehwe kone special authentic Ghanaian restaurant ewo 85 to 87 Woodrange Road Forest Gate London E70EP Fred Bekwe ewo telephone number so +44 75 78 611 211 ana +44 7309 427 2127
Kone special authentic Ghanaian restaurant anokwa mama sankwan.
Hello everyone and welcome back. Sorry for the inconvenience. We'll be asking Rachel and Charity some of their previous questions as they missed out. So Charity and Rachel, what do you think forgiveness is?
Am I permitted to speak?
Yeah.
So I think that forgiveness it's a process of healing and letting go of pain and hurt that you have been experienced. So as I think as I heard everyone discuss, it was a decision. Elder Richmond said it was a decision that you would forgive and let go of the pain that someone has caused you. And so that to me is forgiveness. And then that is the difference between just brushing something off, because if something is just brushed off and someone just decides to just go along with their life and do certain things, they may keep repeating or keep saying something that someone has done to them, and they carry it with a lot of pain and anger and bitterness towards the person. So just brushing it off and actually forgiving someone, that's the huge difference between those two.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with Rachel.
So what do you think the benefits of forgiveness are psychologically and emotionally?
Can I speak?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that forgiveness actually makes you a better person in general. It makes you less heavy. It makes you less bitter. It makes you less tense. It just frees you up because you let go of pain and anger and bitterness, and you're able to be much more grateful, much more loving, much more cheerful. You get to be a much more authentic Christian, and you get to be a much more authentic human being because you're full of love, you're full of hope, you're not bitter or angry or upset about so many things. And so it has a lot of benefits. It actually elongates your life. So yeah, it's just a very it's like a medicine that is not really physical.
Oh, did you want to add on to the question? The next question was, has there ever been a time in your life where where it was hard for you to forgive?
I think that was one question I was going to answer. There was a time in my life growing up, I had a lot of ties to people. My life depended on a lot of people. I was less independent, and a lot of things used to get to me. A lot of things that were intentional or unintentional used to get to me. I used to get hurt. I used to get betrayed. I used to get mocked and things like that. And unfortunately, I used to take those personal. I used to um, struggle with that. And so um, luckily for me, I did see other people around me, grown ups around me, that were the same way. And I realized they were going through things that forgiveness could have easily helped them. Instead of being bitter, instead of being upset, instead of being rude in certain things, forgiveness and letting go of the pain and the anger could have really helped them. And so I saw it as a learning curve because if they went through it and it's a cycle and I'm going through it, if I do not learn from the experience, I could end up like them. And so from there, I learned that it's very important to forgive because that way you get lighter, that way you become more cheerful, you become a much more authentic Christian. And people are not intentional most of the time when they're hurting you. They're not intentional when they say certain things. Some people are just themselves, and unfortunately, being themselves means mistakenly saying the wrong things or mistakenly doing the wrong things or just being themselves and unfortunately someone else would take it the wrong way. And so I had to learn that, but I learned it the hard way. And so from learning from forgiveness, it's been very good. It's been a learning curve. It's been a process. And even the youth in the church, as led by Elder Richmond, he's even given us Bible studies about this. And it's a very good topic because it's a process. It's not a one day thing. You don't just get up and say, I'm forgiven today. You have to continuously forgive. There are so many things that happen that is unintentional. So if you take life as people just being unintentional, just moving on and doing certain things, being a forgiving person is very important because it makes it easier for you to live life. It makes it better for you to live life. So that has been my experience.
Can I speak?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh, so you can hear me now. Okay, sorry.
yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't say I've had an issue with forgiving. Usually, like since I've been a child, literally, if someone hurts me, I prefer to just like let it go. If I feel like it's taking me a while to let it go, I'll just distance myself from the person, take some time to reflect on why they may have done what they did, then come around again. Um, I've always hated the feeling of anger, hurt, and I don't know, but every time I feel angry, I feel kind of like heavy, if that makes sense. So I usually try to let go, and every time when I feel like I can't let go of a situation, I usually pray to God to take away the anger, spirits of anger. And for some reason, it always works. And if I find myself struggling to forgive, I will just kind of like distance myself from the person. Because I feel like keeping um, keeping anger and hurting you gives the person power over you, if that makes sense. Yeah. And obviously, seeing someone then getting angry instantly is not something like I would personally want to feel. So I just tend to let it go and just let go, really. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know if I
Um,
can say explain it.
what is the difference between forgiveness and reconciliation?
Huh?
What do you think the difference is between forgiveness and reconciliation?
Oh, okay, I think I spoke on that already. Did I speak on that already? Or could you not hear me? I'm not
Yeah, I
sure.
think
Oh,
we speaking on it
I spoke
already.
on that.
Oh,
Okay. So I
okay.
think I should.
So my take on forgiveness and reconciliation is that so many people would hurt you. So many people will come into your life and they would do things, as I already mentioned, they would be their authentic self or their normal self, and unfortunately, you would get hurt by certain things they would do if they're not intentional. And then there are certain things that would intentionally um, um, be done against you. There's betrayal, there's so many things. So it depends on what it is. When you're forgiving someone, um, you definitely can turn to prayer. You can definitely turn to think about the turn of events and how things happened and what happened. And if this is someone that really needs to be in your life, then you can kind of reconcile. I think I earlier on I heard Kezia say that there's some people that are not really meant to be in your life. There's some people that are temporary. And there's some people that are permanent. And so when it comes to certain temporary people, not permanent as in they're going to be from with you from the beginning of your life to your end. Everyone is temporary, but there's some people that are like much more long term, and then others are much more short term. And so when it comes to the short term people, um, when you give everything to God, He's able to take them out through certain specific ways. And so you don't even need to bother yourself trying to reconcile. But if these are long term people and you really respect them and you used to trust them and you really need to have the relationship back on track, or you want to start and get back to where you guys used to be, you would have to talk things out. So reconciliation is not just yeah boom boom or we're back together and we're going straight to the point where we left off. No, it has to be a growing curve all over again. It's not, I think that's the mistake people do, and then they keep carrying the anger that they've had from the past or from the beginning of their friendship or relationship or the middle of their friendship or relationship. You're going to start building it again. If they hurt you and upset you, you start to build the boundaries. You start to. So, reconciliation is a long process, but people like to take the shortcut to it. And so, forgiveness. Forgiveness plays a huge role in reconciliation, but people usually just brush things off and just become friends again and start from where they left off. So that's a huge difference. When forgiveness comes before reconciliation, you have to talk through the entire process and start the process again. You can't just brush it off and just excuse it. It plays into the first question you asked. What is the difference between forgiveness and brushing things off or excusing bad behavior? So that's my take on that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I want to add something to it. When I talk about the reconciliation, um, we are youth, we are growing up, and we are passing through the system. But let's take note here. Someone can offend you. Someone can offend you. But make sure you have to even go to the person and reconcile with the person. The offender, you are the victim. The offender, you go to the person. Try to reconcile with the person and try to keep the relationship. As Sister Rachel was speaking, I noticed something. I was thinking about it. Like, let's take the disciples when they were working with Jesus. I'm talking about the period where Jesus fed the 5,000 men, and then the women even didn't count them. So I was thinking about it that if Peter or the disciples has offended someone and they were sharing the bread and the fishes, are you not going to ask Peter, Peter, give me some of the bread or what? Because Peter has offended you, are you not going to eat? Definitely you go and tell Peter, Peter, no, you offended me, but please, I beg you, I'll stop. You just let's equate everything and then give me food. What am I trying to say? There are some people they are very important. We are all important, but some of them they are very important. I am speaking from experience. I'm speaking from experience. Some people will intentionally, if you're not intent, they will hurt you. But you try, go to them and solve every problem there. Because those people, you see, we have connections, we have divine connectors, we have destiny helpers, and that destiny helpers sometimes they disturb a lot. Divine connectors, they disturb a lot. Some of them you might think, oh, they are nothing, they're nothing. Okay, I'm my boss, like I'm on my own. You don't feed me, I don't feed you. But later you meet them somewhere. Though they offended you. And one thing I have noticed about, especially Christianity, I've noticed that we the Christians, we don't offend anyone. But always people offend us. We rather normally offend people. So when we are talking about forgiveness, we should also be very careful that we will not offend someone. As of now, we can realize we can think any people that we've offended them. Because of us, people are not even coming to church again. Because of us, some of them they've lost their jobs. Because of the same Christians, some of them they've broken some relationship, vital relationship, marriages. They've destroyed everything. But the same people will come out and then they will say, this person has offended me. But don't we also offend people? If we want to seek for peace, let us try as much as possible that we also search inside us. Are we not offending someone? That's what is killing us, because always Christian we take things too high, that because we are Christian, because Jesus is our father, meaning people are offending us. No, that's not, sometimes that's not true. And I've never seen someone, it takes one or two things, two people, that when there's a problem and you are asking what's brought up, it takes to do that one people, two or three people that will boldly say that I caused the problem. But normally, because we are Christians, and this person offended me, and this that's, you know, sometimes when I meet people, I just tell them, look, we are human beings, we are not perfect. If you offended the person, go to the person, call the person, my friend, this is what I did. It's not right. I think just last week, an elderly person said something to me, like it was in jovial way. It's like I wasn't offended. I wasn't offended. But the person said at midnight, she was praying. And then the Holy Spirit prompted her that, no, what you said to elder is not right. So call him and apologize. So in the morning, I think around 6 a.m. or 7, it's even earlier than that, the person called. I said, yesterday I said this. And when I was praying, Holy Spirit whispered onto my ears that it wasn't right. I said, oh, truly I wasn't offended. Truly I wasn't offended. That's how Christians should be. We shouldn't always think someone has offended me. If you always put it in our mind, someone has offended me, offended me, you will spoil ourselves. And you will become so arrogant that it will be a point no one can even control us. That's why you will feel bossy. You should be very careful about it. That's why I say relationship, some of the relationship is very vital. No matter what the person will do to you, I'm talking from experience. You should go to them, even rather apologize to them, and then we reconcile and then move forward. And we see what will happen in the near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do you think it's compulsory to maintain a close relationship or reconcile with an individual just because you forgive?
No. Oh, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, no, I don't think so. You can forgive people, but I feel like sometimes it's better to love people from afar, if that makes sense. Forgive them, but distance yourself. You don't agree?
I agree with Charity. So everyone that you necessarily um have to forgive and reconcile. I mean, sorry, you definitely have to forgive, but not everyone you have to reconcile with. You definitely need God when you're deciding that because it's through discernment and wisdom that you can find out who you must reconcile with and who you mustn't. Because there's some people that would take you off your path. There's some people that yes, they were good for your journey for a certain moment in the journey, but in the long run they might not be that great. They might take you on their journey, which may not be your journey. So you have to pray to God for discernment. If this person's time is up, it's up. You don't necessarily need to reconcile. You need to be friendly with them, respect them, love them from a distance, as God has told us to, but not necessarily um, like be in close connection with them, close contact with them, and all sorts of things. So yeah, I agree with what Charity said.
Thank you.
I agree with what they both said, especially the bit about you being able to love someone from a distance, because that you can forgive someone doesn't mean that they should not be able to like be like with you. I feel like if someone constantly does something that like I said before, you constantly have to forgive them, like it's draining on your part as well. Like you like if you told them that you don't like it and they're constantly doing it, like I feel like people only do what you allow. So you can forgive someone multiple times, but then they'll take that forgiveness as, you know what, I'm gonna do it again. They'll forgive me, and our relationship will be perfectly fine. So I feel like at one point you do have to like distance yourself from some people. Like Rachel said, before you do to like pray for discernment, like is this person like do I need this person? Like Elder Richmond said, some people are there to help you in life. They could wrong you, but then you might need them in the future. So I feel like you can love them from a distance, and yeah, you don't have to be close to them all the way that you used to be.
Okay. So the next question is, what are the challenges that an individual can face when forgiving another individual?
Um, may I speak?
Yeah.
So I think going off of what Kezia just said about if this person is someone you have to constantly forgive, I think I had also mentioned this earlier that some people do not intentionally um, hurt you. They do not intentionally kind of offend you. They just have a way they speak. They just have a way they say certain things. They have certain mannerisms. It's just them being them. And so unfortunately, if you're someone with clear boundaries and there are people that cannot accept boundaries. They will keep crossing those boundaries and they would keep offending you. And so you'd see yourself having to keep forgiving them, keep brushing things that they do off, keep trying your best to forgive them, and that way is draining. And so if you come across such a situation and the person tends to be in close proximity to you, like maybe they're in the same household as you, they're in the same workplace as you, they're your boss, they're in a certain position that is so close to you wherever you find yourself, that can be a challenge because the environment you find yourself in is a place that they're deeply rooted in. And them being themselves, unfortunately, goes beyond certain boundaries you have set. And so they just keep draining you. And so that can be a big challenge when it comes to practicing forgiveness.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything to add on to the question?
I feel like it's most challenging in a situation where you feel extremely betrayed, disrespected, or hurt. Especially if you know that you're not the type of person that would do what they've done to you. But like Richard said, like some people are just the way that they are. But then, like, if you have the mentality of you done this to me, I wouldn't do that to you. Like, it makes it feel as if like the person that's wronged you doesn't even deserve to be forgiven. But then in that situation, like if that's our mindset, then none of us deserve to be forgiven. Like the multiple times I've been made sin against God, He constantly forgives us. Like you can commit a sin today, ask God for forgiveness, and He will forgive you right in that minute. So I feel like although there are challenges, that we have to be like open minded when it comes to forgiveness, and not just be like, "Oh, you done this to me. I'm never going to forgive you," because obviously, like we've all said, that is not right.
Does anyone have anything else to add on?
It's, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Um, so I think this links to the previous question. How can someone overcome their challenges of forgiveness?
Um, to overcome the challenges of forgiveness, one point I can raise, just be yourself. Just be yourself. And also know that forgiveness is a command, it's a word of God. Yeah. So these are some of the things that can help you to overcome the challenges. Yeah, you if you always focus on the negative side of forgiveness, you might think when you forgive someone, the person might think you're a fool. So that some of the challenges that we face. Normally, when the person offend you, you forgive. The person, this guy or this guy you see the person is taking you as a fool, but do- forget about that one. Forget about it. And some at times too, when you forgive people, you also see that you're a weak person. But listen, forgiveness is a strength. Forgiveness is a strength. It's a sign of strength. The moment you forgive people, it's a sign that you are a dedicated Christian. You have a genuine mind. No matter what the person will take you. So for you to overcome it, just know that it is the way it is a word of God. It is a command of God. You are a child of God, and you want to do something better, like you want to better yourself. You want to go far in the life. You don't want to harbor things in your mind. You don't want to harbor things in your heart. That will disturb your peace. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, I think sorry. Can you repeat the question again?
Um, How can someone overcome these challenges of forgiveness?
I feel like you have to think about how forgiving others would actually help you. Because sometimes you kind of have to put yourself first. Holding on to a grudge and anger can what's it? Okay, sorry. No.
Sorry for the inconvenience. To finish off with the question, I'll ask Rachel, how can someone overcome the challenges of forgiving?
To me personally, I think the first thing you have to do is to pray as a Christian. Pray to God. And after praying to God, go into the Bible and do your research. Because there are so many people that God worked with and He forgave them. I think another personal story would be the story of Jesus and his disciples. There were two disciples that he did rebuke, saying that the devil had kind of possessed them. And that is something I usually say to my friends. I say to them that God created everything, but the devil possesses them from time to time. Elder Richmond said something about how Christians feel like they're the ones that are offended and they never offended anyone. No matter what you're doing, you could be offending someone, and it could be intentional or unintentional, throughout your walk, throughout whatever you do. And that's the same way someone can offend you in their mannerisms. Some offenses are not like direct betrayal. Some offenses are not direct things to hurt you. It's just something someone said as a joke. It's just a way someone commented on something you did or something, and you can take offense to it. And so by reading the Bible, by seeing these examples, and by seeing how especially one of the disciples of Jesus Christ was rebuked, and then a few moments later, he and that very disciple were very close, and upon that very disciple his church was built. You start to understand that yes, there are times when you would offend someone and someone will offend you. And if that person is meant to be in your life for a very long time, if they're a long term person, reconciliation is very, very important. And other people, reconciliation is not necessarily important. And so by praying to God, telling Him to take control of your heart, your mind, by reading the Word, by seeing examples. If you're not too sure, you can just Google in what part of the Bible was forgiveness taught or forgiveness seen, or was there a storyline of forgiveness. That way, you can see these things and try and mimic it in your walk with God. Try and mimic it in your walk with people, because yes, we're serving God, but it's through serving His people that we actually is the deeds we're going to be doing are not for God alone. it's going to be through people, it's going to be done for people, you're going to serve people. And so by making sure that you're not necessarily offending people, and their offenses are not getting into you, like that way you get to live a much more authentic Christian life. And by seeing these examples, by trying to mimic them, by walking with them, praying to God for understanding and ability to have the wisdom of it, ability to apply it in your life, ability to just let go of certain things and embrace like God in you, and things like that. That's the best way to overcome that challenge, I think.
Thank you.
Okay. So sorry about before. So what I've got is you have to try to understand why the person may have done what they did to you,
Sure.
and also meditate on the word, the Bible. In Matthew 6 verse 4 says, "For if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you." So we also need to meditate on that and try to forgive when people hurt us. Also, holding grudges against people can delay your blessing. And yeah, you also need to think about when you may have offended someone and then they may have forgiven you. I feel like that thinking of these things can help you deal with the challenges of forgiveness.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Just
If I may, sorry,
oh
if
no,
I may, sorry, were you going to say your point of the discussion?
oh yeah, but it's fine. You can add on.
Okay, I'm sorry. Also, we Jesus gave us a template of prayer, and in that template of prayer, he did say, "Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us." And so, as Charity just said, and as Elder Richmond said, it is a command, and there is a scripture to back it, and then there is a template of what you should be like as a Christian, how you should pray, and it comes with forgiveness. So, just as someone offends you, and just as you offend God, as you pray to Him to forgive you your trespasses, you have to remember to forgive those. You just don't have to pray that in vain. You have to actually mean the words and apply the words and feel the words. And one thing I also do is, even as I pray that, I pray that concerning other people I may have offended in any way, so that if, as Charity said, any blessing that is lacking or taking its time to get to me, if someone's heart is hardened against me from something I said or did, or a look or something, by God's grace He can soften their heart, that they forgive me, and I forgive whoever has offended me, and God forgives me for whatever sin I have sinned against Him as well, so that the blessing, as Charity said, can come to me.
All right.
I think I'm done.
Um, can I speak?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. One thing we should also take note is that we are talking about forgiveness, and one of the most important forgiveness we should also forgive is forgiveness of ourselves. We don't do well. Forgiving ourselves, we don't do well. We need to forgive ourselves. Many people have committed suicide. They've killed themselves. They've taken wrong decisions because of not forgiving themselves. Why? Because they think they failed their exams. They think they failed in life. They think this didn't go well in their lives. They think by this time I have like I should have reached this level. Comparing ourselves to our friends. Look at my friend, where he is, where she is, and look at me now. So when you think about all these factors, then we start developing bitterness within us, and then we don't forgive ourselves. Even eating becomes a problem. we frustrate ourselves. We think that's the end of the life, and I've lost my respect. There's no repetition. Let us try to forgive ourselves, no matter what. If you're in that situation, make sure you forgive yourself. No one has failed in this life. So far as we are alive and we are not dead, no one has failed. So we should always try to forgive ourselves. That's the most important. Now, people that you see them outside, they some of them they even act as lunatic people. They just speak out, talking. You don't know the person they are talking to. You're just talking about. That's emotional stress, psychological stress, all kind of stresses because of unforgiveness. They are not able to forgive themselves. So as a young people that we are coming up, that we have future, there's a long way for us to go. As the Bible said, hey, God told Elijah that, my friend, it's Elijah. He said, wake up, right? There's a long way for you. That's Elijah, rather. There's a long way for you to go. So if today you've taken decision and that decision has failed, did not succeed, make sure you take different steps. You take different decision. Forgive yourself. What um what has been done is already done. What are you going to do about it? Forget it. I have one example. Um just recently someone, misused my money, let's say, yeah, took my money, whatever. But I was I needed the money to do something important, but I didn't get it. So I realized I said, okay, fine. Let me use that for I've wasted 4 months. But if I compare the 4 months and I compare to my future, the gap is very, very, very wide. So I have to forget it. So try to forgive yourself, no matter what the situation you are in. Forgive yourself. We have a long way to go, and we should look out for the future, not what has passed. What is past is already past. You cannot do anything. You cannot amend it. Forget it. Forgive yourself. Free yourself. Have free mind. Have free heart. Genuine lifestyle, and then move on. Thank you.
Thank you. Um, so I think some things that I'll add on to the question is a way to challenges is understanding that emotions matter, and also understanding that forgiveness is not an instant thing and is a process. So it's okay if it takes time. And also linking to what Elder Richmond said, also forgiving yourself, but you can't forgive others, you can't forgive yourself. So I think we'll this is the last question. Um, how do you think forgiveness in Christianity?
Pardon?
How do you think forgiveness is portrayed in Christianity?
Christ- portray. What?
Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat? Oh, okay. It's portrayed in Christians. Okay.
I feel like
Um,
as Christians, like as Christians, that we're really encouraged to forgive. For example, in Matthew 6:14, it says, "For if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you." It's like I said before, like God forgives us that multiple times. Like His forgiveness is unconditional, and it's everlasting. So I feel like as humans, as much as it might be difficult, like we've all said that the challenges that comes with forgiveness, but in Christianity, like we're extremely encouraged to forgive people because like everyone said that it might block your own blessings, block their blessings. It can stop a lot of things just by not allowing someone or accepting someone's apology. So I feel like in Christianity is really it's a significant thing.
In Christianity, forgiveness is an health. Forgiveness is health to your body. When you read Second Samuel, I think 13 downwards, the Bible said, then Ammon raped Tamar. So Ammon was a half brother to Tamar, and Tamar is a full brother to Absalom. But something happened. So in the Bible, so it's a Christianity. David didn't speak anything, didn't say anything about it. So Absalom took it personal, harbored it in his heart, and did not say anything. To cut the long story short, at the end, Ammon died. He killed Ammon. And then he also died. So in the Christianity life, what you can say, forgiveness is health and is longevity. If you try that the person, as I said it already, if you think the one who has offended you should come and apologize, some of them you will not get them. Try, forgive them, and it will be a health to your body. Thank you.
Um, may I speak?
Mm.
Okay, so to me, just as we are undeserving, as like personally, just as I'm undeserving, so is everyone. And even with that, God still forgives me. And so who am I? If God forgives, who am I to not forgive others? As well, no one is exempt from being used by the enemy. Even the disciples of Jesus were being used in a moment. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't have to be a long-term thing. Even in a moment, anyone can be used. Anyone can be can offend someone. You yourself can offend yourself. And that's why Tracy and Elder Richmond did mention that you have to forgive yourself. So in any single moment, the enemy can make someone offend you, make you offend yourself, make very important people offend you. And it might not even be something that was intentional. Um, if we look at the story of even himself, the enemy, which is the devil, betrayed him. And betrayal was such a huge sin that Lucifer was never accepted back. But Lucifer still was able to enter the courts of heaven to discuss Job. So even if someone has betrayed you, even if they have sinned against you, it's always important to look into the Bible, see these stories, and understand that yes, you have to forgive. Reconciliation is not important, but because God is love and God preaches love, and literally the other meaning of God is His love. You just have to love people. You just have to be in one accord with certain people. If there are people you would never see again, that's fine. But if there are people that are monumental into your life and your journey and everything, you definitely need to pray. And just as you're undeserving of forgiveness, but God forgives you, it's important to forgive everyone else because there's no way you would never catch an offense. But by living a true, authentic Christian life, by leaving all to God, and by reading your word, discerning when it's right, discerning at every single moment, understanding that some people are not at fault. It's by mistake that this has happened, or it's it's just something that's happening in that very moment. That way, you're able to hold less to some offensive thing, let it go freely, and live in good health as a Christian.
Okay. So in Matthew 18:21 to 22, when Peter asked Jesus how often to forgive, he said 77 times. This is to say that like as a Christian, forgiveness is a duty, and it's not a one-time thing. It's something that needs to be ongoing. Like you have to keep doing it every time someone offends you. And also, vengeance is the Lord's, and He will pay us. So we just need to forgive. And the revenge, if you do want to get a revenge, just leave it to God. He will see. He will do it for you. Vengeance.
Okay, thank you. I'll add on that forgiveness is portrayed as an act of love and obedience. It it benefits us spiritually as we can have a close relationship with God, and by forgiving, we can obey God's command and allow ourselves to receive His grace. And also in 1 John 1:9, it says, "If we forgive our sins, He is faithful to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness." So I think it's important for us to forgive, because if we don't forgive, how do we expect our Father in heaven to forgive, as what Rachel said? So I think that will be the end of today's show. Does anyone have anything else? Okay. Um, I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who tuned in for today's show. I would like to say thank you once again to the head of the church, Prophet Isaac Losse, members of KKC, and of Brother K. I'd also like to say thank you to the panelists for providing us with their information around forgiveness. We'll see you around next week. Bye.
Looking for some fun and faith-filled entertainment for your little ones? Introducing the Little Lights Show, an ultimate destination for the young hearts seeking inspiration.
Hey friends, have you ever wondered why I pray? Or how about why being kind is super important? We will laugh, we will learn, and we also have a blast together. Join us as we dive into these awesome topics and more.
Get ready for interactive games, special guests, and plenty of surprises along the way.
Shine, let it shine.